too was out of control. But I realized that I was wrong, and when God changed my heart, He changed my values, and I've never done that again, and never will. I will not put any of my children, make any children in a fallen state like that. I don't do that when I was wrong. That's why I said we all born in sin, but at some point you need to go and forgive so you can return to the Father and live a righteous life. And
Okay.
I have a son. I have uh, daughter-in-law. I have a granddaughter and a grandson and a great grandson. My granddaughter got married. They have a little boy, but I never did that again because I didn't want my wouldn't want my children not to have both parents.
Hey Jesse,
All
I
right, fair enough.
got a question for Jesse. Hey Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hold on one second. We're not doing questions right now. So, Jesse, now last time you were here, we talked about a little bit about reparations. You talked about how you were opposed to reparations. Can
Yes.
you clarify why you're against it? And
Well, when I was
go ahead.
growing up in Alabama on a plantation under the Jim Crow laws, and by the way, the Jim Crow laws was, and we knew then as we know now, it was the Democratic Party not wanting black people to be a part of its party. And that's why the blacks and some white people started the Republican Party. But when I was growing up, black people were not begging and whining and trying to take stuff from white people and blaming white people because they couldn't make it on their own. We
Take stuff for white people.
black people work hard. They build. My family member bought land. They got married. They had children. Some went to college. Others learned trades. They made it. They had an amazing life. They were not begging. But black people today believe that white people are superior to them, and they've lost the ability to take care of themselves. And so, anytime you let them in, you have to lower the standard. You have to lower the SAT score because blacks are not smart enough to study and pass the test. You lower the standards. And so black people need to stop begging for free stuff and stop believing that the white man is superior to them, become independent thinkers and do for themselves. It's in them to do it if they try. And they're making fools of themselves by begging and killing and robbing and raping and trying to take other people's things.
So you think reparations is something that we're asking for because it wasn't ours, it wasn't owed to us to begin with? What is your
Absolutely.
definition? So you
Absolutely.
don't know what
You're begging
reparations
for
are.
something that doesn't even belong to you. That's why when
Got
you
it.
get
So you
it,
don't
you
know.
don't
Whoa,
You
wait,
keep it,
don't
you
wait,
know.
wait,
destroy it.
So you don't
Jesse.
know what reparations are.
Yeah, Jesse. It sounds like you're not very versed on what reparations is. First of all, where's Wani at? Because this is where I want Wani to kind of weigh in on.
You forgot about
Reparations is
y'all.
not an ask. Okay, reparations is not an ask. We're not asking for a damn thing. This is a
No, you're
demand.
begging for it.
Oh wow! No, we're not. We're
Of
not
course.
begging. I can't.
How come the
No.
blacks don't know that? Why the blacks don't know that we know that they're begging?
Is this
So
a
Jesse, it's not
debate?
even a beg. It's a demand. All right, and what you
It's a
hear people
Hey,
beg.
saying,
hey,
It's like the
listen,
drag queens. They want to pretend that they're
Jesse,
something they're
I
not.
want
The
to ask you.
blacks are
Hold on, Jesse.
begging, but they want to say,
Where'd you say,
"Oh, it's
Jesse?
reparations."
Hold on,
What,
Jesse. Look, what? I just want to know. You talk as if in third person, right? You said, "How come the blacks?" Do you as you is you a, do you feel that you're a white man, Jesse?
No, it's not all, not all, not all, but most black people are begging, and some of the blacks are doing for themselves. So that's me. I say the blacks because it's not all of them; it's most of them.
Because a lot
So
of times,
And
Jesse,
if
when
you
I listen
notice, the
to you,
men are just like the women. The men are begging and stealing and robbing rather than being independent men. They're trying to take from another man. What the?
all right, so listen, Jesse. In all seriousness,
Bam!
right? So
Better.
reparations is not a begging or an ask. It's a demand, and it's a demand for a debt that is owed. So the white folk, the people that you praise so much, hey, the white man. Listen, so the white man owes black. He owes he owes our ancestors, which it would be us. We were the descendants. The United States government owes black Americans. He doesn't know. He doesn't know He doesn't owe Jamaican Americans. He doesn't owe Caribbean Americans. He doesn't owe
What does he
Nigerian
owe you
Americans.
guys?
He owes Black Americans, FBA, Foundational Black Americans, and or the American descendants of slavery.
What do they owe you people?
They owe us reparations, right? So
What do
the
you mean?
government
What
promised.
Not
Let me
what
we
tell
is
the
it
you.
that you
people.
want?
So the
He keeps
government
saying,
promised.
What
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
want?
Listen. So
I
what do we
want
want? We
40
want
ounces in a
equity. We
pit.
want.
I want 40
Listen.
ounces in a pit bull, Jesse.
Not a pit bull, man. Shit. So what we want is we want land, we want machinery, we want our check. There's a check that's owed to us, and
When did you
that
do
money.
to earn it?
Well, first of all, my ancestors were guaranteed that. That
Like
was
who? Who in your family would guarantee that?
well. I'm not going to go through all that because we don't want to take up all the time. But what I
Because
will
if
tell you
blacks
is that
say that, they have no
no,
proof
no,
of
no.
that.
It's of your lineage, right? So if you are of ADOS
Who
descent,
of your lineage that deserves something free?
no one deserves anything free. This is a
Well,
debt
who
owed.
of
So
your lineage
this
that
was
deserve
forced.
you
Listen,
begging and trying
Jesse,
to take?
it's forced chattel, forced labor, right? So my folks didn't get paid. Now the Asians got
Who
paid.
in your
You,
folk didn't get paid?
Jesse, did
Who?
you
Who
question
in
Jesse?
your family didn't get paid?
Jesse, my ancestors. But
Who?
let me ask you this. Let
Who?
me ask
Who
you
in
this.
your, who?
Listen,
What
listen,
aspect of your ancestors?
Farmers got paid as simple.
Jesse. Let me respond. You keep cutting me off. See,
Okay,
I'm not the sisters on the stage. I'm gonna push back on you.
go
Pause.
ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Give me a little respect. Um, did you question the Jewish folks when they got their checks? The folks from the Holocaust, the Native Americans when they got their checks, and anyone else they got everyone else has been paid except for Black Americans. Why
That's
is it
not
that when
true.
black that is true?
let's not to
I have.
mention
May I tell you why that's
Indians
not
get
true?
paid as well.
Why is it not true?
They
Hold
get a
on,
check
Miss.
every month.
Miss, hold on. Hey, hold on. May I tell you why that's not
Why
true?
is it not true, Jesse?
Uh, when the so-called civil rights movement happened, which was the worst thing that ever happened to blacks, by the way, that should not have happened. Prior to the civil rights movement, black people didn't feel anyone owed them anything. They did for themselves, right? They were capable. And then this phony civil rights movement came along, which should not have happened. And what the so-called civil rights people did, they sold the blacks over to the Democratic Party with the agreement that they wanted to be the leaders of the blacks. And so what they did, they started begging for things to give to the blacks to make the blacks think that they were leading them, they were getting something free. And so everything the blacks asked for, we gave it to them. They wanted
Who is we?
affirmative. They
Who
wanted
is we gave
welfare.
them to him?
Well,
Yeah.
listen, they wanted welfare. We gave them welfare. They wanted to eat in the white cafe. We gave them that. They wanted to live in the white community. We gave them that.
Oh,
They wanted to
Jesse,
go to the
Jesse, you
white
doing a
school.
lot of weeds, man. What
We
Hmm.
is you?
listen to me though. Let me finish. They wanted
He's
to go to the
saying
Okay.
white
we because
school.
he's 72
Hold
years
on,
old, so he
Miss.
was
Hold on.
there.
He's
Hey,
saying we
hold
because
on.
he's
Hold on,
speaking from
guys.
a
Hold on,
white
guys. Hold
man's
on, guys.
We
Go ahead,
perspective.
because
Jesse.
he's an American.
Thank
And he
you.
was there. He's 72 years old. Like, how do
They
And he
you
was the
know?
first
they
slave.
and they wanted to live in the white community. We gave them that. They even wanted the white woman. We gave them the white woman, and they still begging.
Oh my God.
He's
We got
speaking from a white man's
Now,
we
perspective.
Jesse,
got
how did
Patrick
you
Mahomes
And
get?
they
though.
still
Hold on,
begging.
guys. Hold
What
on. So
the?
We got Drake.
listen, guys, please don't come off your mic, so I'm gonna have to move you down indefinitely. Jesse, when you keep saying we, right, and we
Yeah.
gave them the white woman, how do you, being part of we, give black folks white women?
As my friend just said, that I'm an American. And so we gave those are my tax dollars that we paid for all that stuff that we were giving to blacks.
Well, how do your tax
And
dollars go to giving black folks white
even
women?
over at
I'm confused.
UCLA, they wanted to get into UCLA. And in order to get in, you got to lower the standard to let them in there. And not UCLA, and not worth a dime.
Is that how you got into university? Because you said that you went to university solely for white women.
I went to LA City College for 1 year, and I went there just to get a white woman because I heard that they were so freaky. And so at that time, at that time, black women were not sluts, right? There were certain things they would not do. And so I went, and once I got me a white woman, I dropped out. But now the black women are sluts, so you don't need a white woman anymore.
Yo, Jesse
Amazing,
stupid. Yo, this
amazing,
nigga funny.
amazing,
Yo,
Amazing.
amazing.
Amazing. Isn't that true, guys? Black women are sluts now.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother K.
just
Rock.
real question. Just Lee. So, do you advise us men to get married in this day and age? Do you advise?
If that's what you want, if you want to have a family, I advise that you allow God to add a woman unto you so you don't pick the wrong one. Date her, get to know her, she'll get to know you. And once
But
you
you just
see,
said that black women are sluts. So who are
that's
we
we
gonna
are,
be picking?
that's
Who?
right. That's why I'm telling you that when you meet her, don't get into the sex thing. Get to know her, she'll get to know you, and you'll see if the right one. Otherwise, you're gonna end up married a slut, and you're gonna have nothing but trouble.
Also, not all of them are sluts. We just gotta find the right one.
Not all, not
Yeah,
all, not
those
all.
that will have sex with you before married are sluts.
The white one.
The black ones.
Wait,
The
wait,
white
wait,
ones do
wait,
it
wait,
as
wait,
well.
wait.
So you
Well,
So
can't.
yeah, the
Jesse,
white one too, whether it's
so
white or
Jesse,
black. Any
so,
woman that has have sex with you before marriage is a slut, and she would not be a good mother and a wife.
So
What
Jesse,
about a
I
man
want to
that
go.
have sex
Well,
before marriage?
you can't.
What
Men are
about a
slut
man that?
makers,
Yeah.
and
What
a
about
woman should
men?
not
So
marry. A woman should not marry a slut maker because if a man have sex with her before marriage, he gonna cheat on her after marriage because it's about the sex and not about love for one another.
okay. So what do you say about men that cheat when they do get married? Because man, you'll be in a relationship with the man and he won't cheat on you while you're in a relationship. But once y'all get married, a man would cheat on you when y'all married. So what does that make him? Is he still a slut when y'all get married? I'm just
He's a slut maker. That's why I tell women do not have sex with the man until after you get married. That way you can see what you're getting and he can see what he's getting.
But
Hey, so
sometimes I just feel like sometimes that don't work either. Like if you was to wait till after marriage, because if you wait till after marriage, that same person could
Have you
cheat on you
waited?
also. Like,
Have you waited?
I rest
have
my
I
case.
waited?
You have not waited, so
hey,
you
so
don't know if it
All
works
right,
or
now.
not.
You don't know if I waited. You don't know
Jesse,
my
Oh
body.
Jesse,
Can
hey,
y'all
no,
not
That
go
was a
back and
the way
question.
forth?
you
That was a
talk.
hold on,
question. That
one
was a
mic, one
question.
mic, one mic, one mic, one mic, one mic, come on. Let's not talk over each other. Let's you know, give the mic to each other.
I think Drew was trying
Cam,
to talk.
go ahead. I think Cam was talking. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
it
Cam.
was me. But I was just asking that question because it was just confusing. You said that a marriage won't work out if someone has sex before marriage.
Right.
But it's really confusing how you follow this Bible so hard because this Bible was really written by a white man. So why would you believe everything in that Bible?
Why do you say the Bible written by a white man?
It says New King. You have so many versions of that Bible. New King James version. It's all
Well,
these
why do
type of
you
different
say the
versions
Bible was written by a white man?
because it
How
was
where's your proof of that?
Hebrews.
Oh no.
right. Like
King James was
Where's
black,
your proof of that?
King,
Hebrews not white, but
Well, she's not. She's
and the
she's
King
not a
James was
Christian.
black.
She's a.
He was
She's not a
definitely
Christian.
black.
Plus, she doesn't know what she's talking
hold on,
about.
hold on, hold on, hold on, Ern.
She's not a
Before you read
Christian at
my
all.
bio, yes. Hold on, Ern. Before you read my bio, yes, it does say all praises due to Allah because my dad is
See,
Oh
Muslim,
Jesse.
but
Lord, Allah
hold up.
Akbar.
Wait, my dad is Muslim, but my mother, I grew up in a Christian family. I grew up praise dancing and in choir. So I
Beta.
definitely know the Bible. Please don't do
Hey,
But
hey,
I wouldn't trust an
so
Allah
Jesse,
Akbar person. They hate Christians and Jews.
I don't hate
oh
wait,
Jesse,
whoa, whoa. And
so
that's crazy.
hold on
I
one second,
don't
one second.
hate Christians or
No,
Jews. My
you can't
family are
trust the
Christians.
Hold
Allah
on, Cam. Hold
Akbar.
on, Cam.
They are
Cam.
taught to lie.
All right, so
Okay.
Jesse, Jesse, I want to know, and somebody always asked this question too. How do you feel about Muslims?
About who?
Muslims, the
Oh, I love them. I have respect, but I don't trust them because they've been taught that Christians and Jews are infidels, and you can deceive them, you can befriend them, whatever it takes to take out the infidel. And so until that change, I don't trust them, but I don't. I still love them because I know that they need to return to the Father.
Mr. Peterson, hey, how you doing?
All is well.
That's good. If I may, in 1990, you was on the Donahue show
Uh-huh.
with Sister Shaharazad Ali, and you was speaking highly of her in her book, The Black Woman's Guide to the Black Man.
Yes.
Do you still hold those same sentiments to this day?
Well, I don't remember them all, but from what I can remember, she believed that men should lead the woman instead of women leading men. So I definitely agree with that.
So her being Muslim had no effect on your agreements with her opinions.
As far as trusting her, I wouldn't do that because I know that Muslims hate the Christians and Jews. So, I have to keep my eye on her.
You've been keeping your eye on her since 1990.
I keep my eyes on all Muslims because I know that they hate Christians and Jews. They think that we are infidels and worthy of death, and I don't trust that.
But you can't say all Muslims hate Christians
Yes,
and Jews because
I
that's not
can
the
say
truth.
that. They've been taught that.
No, you can't. I have not been
It's in
taught
their
that.
little
What do
book.
you mean? I
Hey,
have
hey,
not been
hey,
taught that.
hey,
I grew
Jesse.
up in a house with Christians and Muslims, so you can't tell me what I've been
Hey,
taught.
Jesse.
Literally.
But
All right,
don't
But
all
I
right.
ask
can't
don't
Everybody.
trust
ask
you
questions.
because you're a
All
Muslim.
All right,
right, all
bro.
right. Thank
It's
you.
getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. So look, Jesse, I want to ask you another question from the audience. Some say black women were more reserved back in the day compared to white women. And
Yes.
what was the difference?
They were allowed to be educated and their egos went out of control. And during the civil rights movement, the government became their husbands and they got rid of their husbands in their homes. And it made the woman feel that she was greater than the man. It made her feel good about being raw. And so their egos went out of control. And over the years, it's just gotten worse to the point that the man doesn't even know how to bring her back to order.
Wait, so you're saying
She
that
been
back?
made to believe. She been made to believe that she's better than the man, which is not true. That's why the black families are suffering because it's been headed up by the woman instead of the man. And the women have no love. They have no light. They can't guide the family in the right way to go. It's impossible for women to raise children.
Are
They need the light of the father to guide them.
so
So
women today are out of order?
Yes.
so
Because they don't have the men. Their mothers have turned them away from their fathers, and so on and so on. And when they meet men, they meet beta males who are afraid of the spirit that's in them because it reminds them of the spirit in their mothers. And so they don't have anyone to guide them. And by the men, the black men have not overcome their mothers. And so they're just like the woman because you become like whoever you're angry at. They have identified with their mothers instead of their fathers. So they have the mindset of the woman, and so the black women are just lost. They're angry, they're out of control, and they're lost.
is there
So who are
what
you
is there
angry
some
with?
so is there wait, is there some solutions, Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson, because we understand what you're saying. Is there any solution?
Yes.
Should we like bar women from going to school? Should we like
No,
just make sure, what should we do with women?
the solution is each individual, each black man and each black woman have to get to know themselves. If you want to know God and return to your natural state, know thyself, and you'll see the war that's happening within between the darkness and the light, and you'll see the war outside. Go to your mother and forgive her for turning you away from your father, imposing her will on you, recreating you in her image. The
Yeah,
mothers
but
and the
if you
grandmothers,
were if
Hey,
you were
so
like if
and they couldn't help
so
it.
Jesse,
And once,
so
let me
Jesse,
just
what
finish
about
this real
those?
fast. And once you forgive, don't ask the mother for forgiveness. Forgive her for what she's done to you, and God will forgive you. God will forgive you and return you back to the Father. That's why God said, before you enter the kingdom, you must go and forgive. Because don't ask the mother for forgiveness because women don't forgive. It's not in their nature. God will forgive you, and He'll take the mother's identity away from you and return you to your father. Then you can live and you can guide the woman in the right way
yeah,
to
but
go.
I'm asking like what would you do if like you were in charge? You know what I'm saying? Because that thing is individual. Like, what would you do if you were in charge of everything so we could put women back in order? Like, what would you do?
Oh, I would, number one, I would restore the family. I would encourage marriage. I would encourage men and women to get married before they start a family. I would encourage them to have less government in their life. We need smaller government, not big government.
I
And
agree with
I
that.
would encourage them to love what's right. And in loving what's right, loving their country, they cannot go wrong.
Hey, so Jesse, what about those single mothers who have raised, like a LeBron James of society, raised a man to be great, successful men? What about those single mothers who did it with no father, with the deadbeats that have ran
Yeah.
out of their lives?
Good question. LeBron James may know how to play basketball, but he's not a good man because he has not,
But
from what
Jesse,
I
he
can
was
tell,
Jesse. He have the family of his own. He's doing pretty good at that.
but still, that doesn't make him a good man because if he hasn't overcome his mother, he's married to his mother. And I guarantee you the woman is ruling and the kids are suffering as a result of that.
What makes
A
him
good
not a good
man is
man,
one
Jesse?
that a good man is one that loved God with all his heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else, including himself. then he can guide his family in the right way to go. But he must be born again. He must return to the Father.
What has he done to show you otherwise, though? What have LeBron exhibited to make you feel that way? To show you?
No, no. What I'm saying is, just because he's good at throwing a ball in a net doesn't make him a good
No,
man.
I agree with that part, but I feel like he I mean, in a 19-year career, he's never been slandered never been in scandals. He's done a lot for the community. I'm just saying, what has he done for to make you feel that he's not a good man? I mean, I get what you're saying, but what has Braun done to exhibit that to you? Because I think he's like the gold standard. I don't even root for him, but
Why
at
do
the
you
same
think
time,
he's the gold standard?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say that again.
Why do you think he's the gold
Okay,
standard?
Why don't you think he is?
because of what Don just pointed out. He can't he dealt with adversity. He didn't have his father in his life, and not only that, he's like a model. He's already a role model, and then he's showing kids that's looking up to him. Hey, as a black man, you can have a family. He married his high school sweetheart. You talking about wedlock and all that, right? He didn't make the mistake you made. He married his high school sweetheart before he started his family. He did everything the right way. He's doing shit in the community, open up schools and things of that sort. I think that he's a model citizen. What has he done in his career for you to say he's not a man of God or he's just not that
Huh?
type? What is he doing? I'm just curious.
Oh.
Out of pure.
Well, the proof that LeBron James is weak and a beta male is that you hear him saying it's hard on the black man in America, right? And if LeBron James had a heart of love instead of a heart of stone, instead of blaming white people, while he's doing fine financially, he owns homes everywhere, he's doing really well physically, but his heart is of stone and not of love. Because instead of blaming someone else for the failure of other black people, he would teach them to do what he has done, and instead of trying to keep them down by encouraging them to blame someone else for them being losers, right? So LeBron James has a heart of stone and no love, and because of that, he's not a good man.
You have
Really
Jesse. So
disagree, but all right. Thanks for answering my question.
All right. So
Okay.
listen. So
I I,
Jesse,
I wanted to
just
get Sister Allah on stage. Brother Jesse. From Sister Allah on stage. She wanted to ask you, I guess, a few questions. She is a Israelite. I think she's married also. How do you feel about Israelites, Brother Jesse?
the Black Israelites.
I think they mean well, but they're lost. All they do is quote the Bible. You can never have a real conversation with them because they're like Bible thumpers, except they're above that. In that they too need to return to their fathers. They think just by reading the Bible and having this false identity of being the Israelites, it's going to make them better. It's not.
So,
Oh, that was
is
pretty
this
accurate.
is this room? Because I'm still trying to understand what live debate. Because it seems like we're just
Uh,
suffering in silence.
I mean, if you have a question, just ask a question. Jesse, next I want to go back to a comment you made in the last room, last
Okay.
time you joined us. We talked about racism, and then we also talked about police brutality. You made the statement that police brutality does not exist, and nor
Right.
does racism,
Right.
which deeply upset a lot of black folks in the room, whether they're activists or not. I mean, we see every day when we turn on our TVs. We see every day when we're walking around in our communities, whether we're going shopping or going to do something for the family or whatnot. We see that it very much does exist. Why is it that you believe it doesn't?
What is it that you, before I respond to that, I definitely will. What is it that you see every day that makes you think racism exists?
Well, we see black folks being stopped and pulled over for little to no reason at all.
How do you know
Whether
that?
well, because we see it. I mean,
But
I've
how do
seen it.
you know why they're being stopped? Do you go over to the car and say, "Oh, why are you being stopped?"
But Jesse, hold on. But Jesse, you
I
the
can tell you.
same
Hold on.
individual.
Let me respond to him. Let me
Go
respond to
ahead.
him.
Go ahead, bro.
So I've been in vehicles, right, where people have been stopped, and I've had on a hoodie, so the officer in particular didn't know who I was, but he stopped the vehicle on a few occasions for no reason, and then when asked, what was the reason for the stop, it was, oh, you look suspicious, or you didn't have your seatbelt on, things of that nature.
And why would that was the reason then?
That's not a legitimate reason to stop
You said,
somebody.
but oh,
Because someone
legitimate. But at least he
because
gave you a
someone
reason. What the?
listen. Well,
But let me
well,
tell you
well.
why. let me
Yeah,
tell
go
you
ahead.
why you see that. If you see that every day, why you're seeing it. What you're overlooking is that blacks are acting out. They are out of control. They have been taught and trained not to respect the cops' order when they're stopped. They have been trained for a long time now that when you're stopped by the cop, call him a racist. Don't follow his instructions because he is a racist. You see blacks committing crime. Look at that George Floyd guy. George Floyd
Black
was an
people.
unemployed George Floyd was an unemployed drug addict with a criminal record, and he
Wow.
was,
We
Oh
really
and,
doing
wow.
this?
and instead of the blacks,
Y'all let them finish, please.
Does that mean they want death?
and instead of the blacks telling other black people, hey, this is not how you want to live. You don't want to be a drug addict. You don't want to be a criminal. You want to care enough about yourself not to be on drugs because this is what will happen. And instead of telling them that, they put a thug up as a hero. What kind of example is that that anyone should send for young people? And, and,
So,
and, and now you
so
see the blacks going into stores and robbing and stealing with cameras on and
They've
daylight
been doing that.
because they have no morals. They've gone out of control because their so-called black leaders have set them up to make fools of themselves and destroy their lives.
so when you
Hey,
talk
And
about,
instead of blaming it on the cop, blaming it on them, they're blaming it on the cops. What
Okay, so
the?
look,
so,
Jess, I want to ask you this question because you'll
well,
say the community got more rights than
we
blacks, but
lost you.
then
We
you're
we
saying
lost you, Don Prez. Go ahead and start over.
Yeah, I lost
you
you, Don.
you
Repeat
you
that.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
In one sentence, you'll say LGBT community has more rights than blacks, but then you'll double back and you'll say it's no racism. Like you got to make that make sense.
Well, just imagine for a minute, if you will, what would happen if black people became a decent people again and they followed the laws of the land as well as the laws of their hearts and they were stopped by the cop. The cop's going to treat them like they would treat anyone else. But if the cop doesn't know what's going to happen when he stop you and approach your car, you're calling him racist, you're overreacting, you're carrying on. That's not the way human beings act.
hey, hey,
Black
But
people didn't act that way when I was growing up. Why must they act that way now? Why don't they have morals and values? But what it is, they have black leaders and white leaders, and these leaders are keeping them in that position so they can go after the cops and remove the cops away from them so that the blacks can go out of control as they are. And then the leadership cry racism, and in crying racism, they gain power and wealth while the blacks are running around making a fool out of themselves. They
hey,
need to come back to morality.
Yeah, but
so
Jesse, do you think people aren't
Washington,
aren't able to
the
change?
Washington
I'm
Post
sorry?
released an
My
article saying
question was, you told us a story earlier that you had a kid at 19 and wedlock, and as you developed later on into a man, you changed, you didn't make those same mistakes.
Right.
But then you talked about George Floyd, and you brought up his drug addiction. He had drug use and all that. So my question is, one, do you have any drug addicts in your family? And if you do you love them? And second, do you think people aren't subject? They just can't change because and do you think because I
Good
have a
question,
criminal?
man.
Hold on, Jesse, 1 second. So I'm asking you if you think because I got a criminal background, like I might got a few little petty misdemeanors on my record. I might no listen to me. I might got a little drug addiction or whatever the case. That's okay. Say that's who I am. That's my description. Granted, I don't go out bother nobody, whatever. Do you think
Right.
because I'm that type of individual, I'm warranted death, or I'm just like less than somebody could just wrongfully do something to me and take my life, and because I got that background, because I got petty misdemeanors on my charges, or I'm a drug addict, do you think that death is warranted because I'm that individual? I might be just suffering from addiction. Do you
Well,
think that
okay, I
I'm
got your
just
question, man. Hold on. Number one, drug addict is not who you are. That's what you do as a result of being turned away from your father. You are a son of God who was lost in the wilderness. So you're not a drug addict. That's what you do because of the emptiness, that yearning for the Father that you have. And if you are stopped by a cop and you don't overreact, you follow the cop's instruction. Of course, they should not hurt you in any physical way. But if you're cursing the cops out, you're running from the
you
cops, you're
got
calling
sell
them
cash
names.
drugs? A
But when
lot of
they
guys.
do, then what?
So
What
But
so
and
what about
so
the
so
gentleman
when
that was
you
murdered in
stop,
hold
front
on,
of you
guys.
but
There's too many people talking.
in
and
compliance?
but And
What
so
about the
we
people
use
that's been in compliance and never uttered a word and lost their life? What do you say about
So,
those
repeat
people in those
that.
cases?
so hold on, B James, I got it. So, Jesse, in the case of Philando Castile, it was a black man who was riding passenger shotgun in a vehicle. Police approached him. They asked him, "Did he have anything on him?" He said, "No." He had his identification, which was a CCW permit. He went to reach for that and got killed for that. So. When you give these cases of black folks who are just acting out of control, that's a prime example. There was another case where
So
there
let me
was a
start with that one
therapist.
first, all right? Let me respond
Okay.
to that one before you throw another one on me. If look, you said the man went for his whatever he had. When you're stopped by the cop, you can't go for anything because how do they know you don't have a gun or some type of weapon?
They asked
You
him for his
wait and let
They
the
asked
cop
him.
ask you for it,
They asked him,
then
yes.
you go for it, right?
And that's what
And
happened, and he
and
was killed.
plus, we were not there. We can't believe what some crazy black woman said about it
But we
because
saw
Wow.
it on tape.
they're
We
These
saw
people
thinking
the
of
I know
tape.
are
We
money.
saw
is
the
They're
Is
tape.
crazy.
what's
thinking
happening?
everything else.
That's a crazy
You just
black
Y'all
the
woman.
going into
black
the
people are out
matrix.
of control right now. They're not going to tell you the truth.
So are we? I'm confused. Are we
Well,
supposed to
hold on,
believe?
guys. Hold on, Cam. Hold on.
Let
Jesse, I
me.
hear what you're
And another
saying.
thing I want.
But
Let me. Hey. Let me respond to the guy who said that he was had some drugs and something like that.
Yeah, it
And I
was
want
me.
him to know, yes, you can change. Yes, you can change. God does not hold that against you because He realized you've been turned away from your father. You couldn't help yourself. Go and forgive your mother and forgive your father for not protecting you from her. I guarantee you, man, your whole life will
All right, my
change. It's
last
about your
question,
heart.
Jesse. Do
It's
you
about
think
the heart,
anybody
not about the drugs.
I got you. I got you. So, real quick before I yield the mic, do you think any black person has been wrongfully killed in any of these stories that been coming up over the past half a decade? Do you think any of them was like warranted or legitimate? Like, what is your take? Do you think all of like none of them was like uncalled for? Do you feel like anybody who lost their life to police brutality over this past decade deserved it? Like, or just was wrong? The police was completely wrong, or they always was right in every situation. I'm just
Well, like I said, there is no such thing as racism. That's a made up word.
I never
Police
mentioned nothing about
brutality is a
racism
made
though. But go ahead.
police brutality is a made up word too, and it's done by people that want to control you for personal gain. And I'm
Yes or
sure if
no,
you
Jesse?
did research, you can find.
hold
Yes
on,
or
James.
no?
James,
Hey,
I
Jesse,
got it,
you
James.
got to
James,
bubble
I'm
me.
James,
sure
Yes
James,
if
or
you
no?
did
James.
research, you can find one case or two cases where the police is out of order, but
Hey,
that's not
hey,
majority.
brother
All
Jesse,
right, James.
respectfully
All right,
though,
big James.
you moving the
James,
goal.
all right, thanks. So listen, Jesse, let me give you a couple of other cases.
Okay.
In North Miami, an officer shot an unarmed caregiver of a man with autism found of a misdemeanor. So the caregiver, the therapist, was lying on the ground with his hands in the air, and he was shot with his hands up in the air. How do you respond to that?
I wasn't there. I don't know. I can't respond to it. I wasn't there.
Let me get one mic, sir, Major.
But when you're talking about police brutality is a made up thing and it doesn't exist, that's a prime case right there.
Exactly.
But let me ask you this. I wasn't there, right? I don't know. But
You
why are
don't have
you
to be
people
there
so
to see it,
concerned about?
Jesse. In good faith, I need you to bring some type of intellectual honesty. You can't just keep saying I wasn't there because you know we see these cases on the news,
That's
caught on
not
body
true.
camera. Hold on, Jesse. Caught on body camera, caught on cell phone tape. That is the American people's body camera. So
Mm.
you can't just invalidate. Hold on, Jesse. You cannot, in good faith, invalidate what we know to be true. You
But
can't
the
just say,
ones you
well,
see it
because
on
I
camera,
wasn't
the
there.
blacks are acting out. They're acting like animals.
Are you?
So in the,
Can I get
But let
one
me
mic,
ask you
sir,
this:
Major? Can
Why
you
are
get it?
those cases? Why are those cases more important to you than the
So can I?
300 blacks who are killing one another in Chicago?
Can I name
Why are you
another
people
case for
hold
you?
upset
on,
about
Cam. Hold
that?
on, Cam. Damn.
Why are you guys upset about black on black crime in Chicago out of
Jesse,
control, little
you're
children?
conflating. Jesse,
But
you're
you guys are
conflating.
focusing on the
You're
police.
conflating.
Jesse.
You guys are
Let me
focusing on
get
the
one mic.
police
God
and
damn.
doing
Let me get
nothing
one mic.
about
You
your
can
own
stop.
people. What the?
Jesse, so listen. You are trying to conflate two separate conversations. The conversation on
Why
black and
one
black
is
crime.
more important to you than the other?
But Jesse, we're having a listen. Damn it! If we're raising money for your mother who has breast cancer, and I'm raising tens of millions of dollars, and then your Don Press says, "Well, damn it, lung cancer matters." We're not saying that cancer does not matter. Today, we're speaking on Black lives, and what you're doing is disingenuous. What you're doing is you're trying to be intellectually dishonest, and it's not okay.
What
We're
does that
talking
mean?
about
What I'm
Black
being
folk.
dishonest about?
You're not even being intellectually honest,
I mean,
bro.
he's not
What
lying.
am
You
I being
weren't there.
dishonest
Right.
about?
So we're
What am
talking
I
about Black
dishonest
people.
about?
Listen, the conversation right now in this moment is about unarmed Black people being murdered by police, right? We're talking about the thin blue line, right? You're trying to talk about Black on Black crime. Well, then I can always bring up white on white crime, but we're not having that conversation. We're talking about government state sanctioned violence. We're talking about it being authorized and
That's not
permitted.
true. Those are just made up words,
Oh
No,
man.
my
this
What
is
the?
a fact. These are things that we
This
see.
guy is crazy.
These are our life experience. This is the soundtrack to Black Americans' lives.
No, it's not.
Hey,
The
These are
soundtrack
the
to Black
American horror
American
story.
lives, if they
hey,
stop
Jesse, let
acting
me
like
ask you
they,
a question,
if they
Jesse.
start acting like they
You
had
don't have a
sense, they wouldn't
TV.
be going through this.
What
Hey, so
about
So,
Jesse,
so
so
Jesse? What
Jesse,
about Emmett
Jesse, I want to
Till?
ask.
Le-
Hold
level,
on,
hold
le-
on, hold
levels,
on, hold on,
speed.
guys, hold on, guys.
one mic. Levels. Go ahead, brother.
Levels, yeah.
Hey, Jesse, let me ask you this, man.
Okay.
You think you better than black people?
No, I'm better than no one. No one is better than anyone. We're
You
all
Cause
the
you
don't think
sit
same.
he's
up
black?
here, you sit up here, you drag these questions, you try to play on somebody intellect, like you go around the question when motherfuckers ask you a question, man.
How
I
am I
just want
going around them?
Hey, listen, man. I just want to say this to you, man, and I'm gonna get off this stage, man. You are a fucking coon, man.
Have I
People like
said
you.
anything that's
It's
not true?
motherfuckers like you that disgrace
Why
me
are
out
you
here.
cursing
If
at me?
I
What's
ever
what?
seen you in person, I
You
would
don't
spit
love
in your
me?
fucking face, man. You
Well,
don't
why are
love
you mad at me?
yourself. You don't love yourself. You
But do
sitting
you
up here
love
trying
me?
to justify what the black man been going through for years in this motherfucking country. You sitting up here acting like it's okay.
I'm
Come
trying
on,
to
man.
tell you
You
how to do it right.
how the fuck do you look in a mirror? It could be you next time getting pulled over, Jesse.
I've been pulled over before.
You sound like you
Amazing.
illiterate. You can't hold your speech is slurred. You
What am
could
I
definitely
saying
get
that's not
racial
true?
profiled, man. You could
What am I
definitely
saying
get
that's not
profiled,
true?
man. Come
But at
on,
least at
man.
least he didn't threaten Vax's on stage though. Weren't you just doing that a couple
Amazing.
months
So,
ago?
all right.
Bam.
Damn, take it
We
easy.
admit all
One,
that.
one mic. Listen,
Back to
one mic.
flirting
This is
with
not
anonymous women on Lipstick Alley, bro.
one mic, man, one mic. Cause this is not no club. This is Jesse Lee Peterson. He probably
Thank
don't
you.
know nothing about this. Let's keep that. Where we keep that.
Thank
Jesse,
Thank you.
come on, please.
Niggas
Let's
is
please
weird.
have
Everybody, let me ask you a question
let's
for
have a conversation. Hold on. Go ahead, Drew. Ask your question, bro.
okay, so Jesse, you had said not too long ago, you had said something about our black queens being sluts and all this other stuff. So do you consider your daughter a slut, your
What's
auntie?
a black queen?
Just answer the question. Do you consider your daughter a slut? That's what I want to know.
If she's having sex, my granddaughter, if she's having sex out of wedlock, she's a slut.
So is she a slut? I mean, I'm sure you know what's going on.
She's married.
Hmm, okay.
Period.
If I catch your granddaughter, I'll slut her the fuck out.
Why would you
Oh
do that? She's
wow.
black. I thought you loved black people.
All right. Next question. Who? There was a woman on stage
But
that had a
I had
question.
something to
I
say.
also it's something I
Oh,
Hold
go
on. I
wanted
want
ahead.
to. Hold on, Cam. Cam, Cam.
I had a question I
I,
want to ask. Hold on.
Mia can go ahead.
yeah, hold on. Hold on.
Let me
Hold on,
let
Don.
me
Hold on, Don.
uh,
1 second,
let
guys.
me.
Yeah. So Don, you're gonna go next, and then I want to go to someone who has not asked a question yet, and then we'll kind of
Okay.
circle back
All right.
around.
Cool. It's cool. Go ahead.
Go. No. Go ahead, Don.
Um. Oh yeah. So Jesse, I want to ask you this. What about black women who say they want to divest from black men to date white men? How do you feel about those black women?
It's pretty sad because they're looking for a father's love and they can't find that in the black men. So they're looking for a man that will love them in the right way and guide them. And unfortunately, the black men have not returned to their fathers. So the women are desperate for a father's love.
Damn, man.
So let me ask this question. I'm gonna follow up on Don Press. Jesse, there are, and I'm gonna just keep it real with you, Jesse. You know, we keep it real with each other. Listen, on this app, you're gonna find out, and I guess in real life, I guess there are women who identify as divestors, or on this app, shout out to Eddie or Aya, they identify as the
Don't. Why are you
exoticals, right?
centering me in the
No, I'm
conversation?
just
Lord Jesus,
right. Yeah.
please let me ask my question. When
Wait, hold on. You ain't had no question, so I'm gonna ask this question. You can go after me. So, Jesse, they identify as the exoticals, and they believe on divesting, and they believe on dating up. And there are women, not just the divestors or the exoticals, but they also agree that you know they believe in dating white men to get to the next level. There are women who also agree that dating white is right. What is your response on that?
First of all, none of that makes sense. They don't realize, as I told you earlier, that women don't know what they want. They have no logic. But what they're really looking for is a man to guide them, to bring them out of the hell that they're in. A man that they can look up to, and not one that look down to them. And they're looking for a father's love, but in their mind, because their mind is illogical, they think they want to marry up for money. They think they're looking for this. They don't know what they want. They need the men to guide them.
Okay. Next, I want to go to Whole Live. Whole Live has joined the stage. Shout out to you for being here.
I want to ask him this question before he go, before whole lot go.
I got
So
you. I
Jesse,
got you.
do you feel that a white man could be more of a father figure
he just
to a
said
black woman?
yes,
No, I just want to ask him again. He didn't really
Repeat
say
that.
yes.
he just said the white man is
No,
better than the
no,
black man. Like, hello.
no, he didn't.
Go,
He
go
really
ahead.
didn't
Go
say
ahead,
that.
Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
I want to hear it come out his mouth. So, do you feel that the white man is more of a father figure to the black woman than a black man is?
No, but that's what the black woman think because she's looking for a father's love, and she think the white man will provide for her better or take care of her, because she can't find that in the black man. He's just like the black woman.
So you believe that that's flawed thinking, correct?
I'm sorry.
You believe that that is flawed thinking, correct?
What do you mean by forward thinking? It's wrong
Flawed.
thinking.
You think that
Oh yeah,
that'd be
flawed. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Now, Whole Live,
So,
he
so,
had a
so,
question for
Ayan,
Jesse.
he don't agree with you, Ayan. But go
Yeah,
ahead,
he
go
doesn't
ahead.
He
agree.
legitly
Go
calls
ahead,
the
Whole Live.
president a great white hope. He believes the white man is better. Hello.
Good point there. Whole Live, you're
Ah,
up
yeah,
next.
it's funny.
So, Jesse, who
Hey,
is the great white hope to you?
Wait,
Donald
here he is,
Trump,
Jesse.
the great white hope.
Period. He
Um,
worships the white man.
All right.
Hello.
Listen,
amazing,
listen. Whole Live,
amazing,
listen, guys. Guys,
Amazing.
amazing.
Whole
amazing.
Live is gonna go
Jesse, I got
Can
a
next.
I ask
question
my
for you.
question?
Hold on. No. Hold on. Whole Live first, and then Aya.
Oh, what's good, everybody? What's up? What's up? How you doing, Jesse Lee?
All
Um,
is well. How you?
awesome. I'm doing awesome. I got a question for you. So I've heard you say before, and I just wanted to get clarification on why you believe this. It was something along the lines of you not believing that black people created anything that was good, and I wanted to know why you felt like that.
Oh, that's a good point. What I've said, and continue to say, is that since the civil rights movement, black people have not created anything. They don't make things better, they destroy it. You can give them a beautiful community to live in, they'll destroy that. You can give them like Barack Obama, the father Messiah, right? They voted in Barack Obama, a black man. He made America worse. He didn't make it better. The races are more divided. That radical, far left, liberal nasty organization, Black Lives Matter, bunch of fat black radical lesbians. They burned down the country. They robbed, stole. So black people don't make it better. They only make it worse. But if they return to their natural state of being, they can come back to making things better. But right now, they don't do that.
So you said that they don't. So since the civil rights movement, black people haven't made anything better.
I can't
That's
think of
basically.
one thing, and I haven't had anyone to tell me that prove me wrong yet.
So question: would you say that before black people joined the NBA, that it was better, and it got worse after black people joined?
Yes, it got worse because now they are instead of pledging allegiance to the flag without showing appreciation for the country that made it possible for them to do what they're doing. They're destroying it. They're even destroying the NBA. How do you destroy sports? You know you're bad when you destroy
So
sports. They're
so
making it worse.
so Jesse, are you
Jesse, you
saying
talking
they
about
What
destroy
football, not
empirical
basketball.
data do you
Jesse?
Basketball and football, both of them.
Jesse, are you saying that they destroy sports just because they don't choose to bow down to the flag simply just because of that?
No, the reason they do it, they have no moral character. They have no love. They only have hatred, hearts of stone, and not love. So they have no appreciation for the greatest country on this side of heaven.
Hey, add me this loop, man. I got a
All right, cool. So, all right. So next, I want to go to who was
No.
that?
Can you
Me.
add me to
I
the
want to.
next
I have a
Yeah,
question for Jesse.
hold on
Simple
one
question.
sec, one second, guys. I got the cue. Aya, you're up next.
Okay,
Add
so
loop.
yeah, ever since the civil rights, we noticed that there's been like a huge outbreak of black men dating white women. Actually, they date out than any other race of man. Jesse Lee, do you want to talk about the obsession that black men have with white women? Like, where do you think that's coming?
It's due to the hatred of their mothers and their inability to deal with black women. You must realize that black women are totally out of control. They don't respect the black man. They don't respect themselves. They are unwilling to be decent wives and mothers. And so the black man looking for someone that will be that way, but not understanding that until they overcome their mothers, every woman they get involved with, whether she's black or Mexican or white, it will be mama. And so they get into these relationships with these white women and they become the boy and the woman become the mama. The same thing that happens when they get with the black woman. So they're looking for someone other than mama, but they don't realize they're not going to find it until they overcome the spirit of mama, and then they won't be attracted to that same spirit.
So, just a follow up question, right? Because it seems like you're putting a lot on the woman, and according to the Bible, the men are supposed to be the leader. So I'm just confused.
Yes.
If the men are the leaders of the community, and the community is fucked up, wouldn't that say something is wrong, broken with the man? Or
Really good question, man. But what it is, what they don't understand, we're all born in a fallen state. We're born in sin. All those who are born of the mother are dying, and those who have been born of the father are living. And so the guys don't understand because no one is telling them. The fathers are not there to guide them. The preachers are beta males and don't tell them. They must forgive the mothers for turning them away from their fathers and return back to the fathers, and God will remove the mother's identity away from them and give them back their natural identity before they were traumatized by their mothers and grandmothers. And then the woman would no longer be their God and they could guide the woman then.
Yeah,
That's what the problem is.
why are the fathers
Jesse.
done with period?
So thank you so much,
Father-
Bree. I know you've been waiting for a while
And
to
I, and
get.
I still got sister.
I
I still got sister Allah that wanna
got you.
ask.
She can go after her. She can go after her. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bree.
Yeah, I want to get in too.
Oh,
Throw me
oh,
in.
hey y'all. Hi, my sister. I love you. What's shaking in the bacon? Hello, good evening, Mr. Peterson.
Hey
So, I
there.
mean, I've been listening, and I also watched you when you did that interview. Well, it wasn't an interview, but when you did Donahue, when Shahrazad Ali was on there as well, and I saw how the people reacted to you, and it was kind of like this. So this is funny, but I wanted just for like it's crazy. But for clarification, how old are you, sir? Meaning, can you tell the people in the audience who may not know what year you were born?
I am 72 years old.
Okay, so you, like you said before, your grandfather and a great grandfather. So you've actually lived through the civil rights movement, and you've lived through
Right.
all these things that you're.
Absolutely. I grew up on a plantation down in Alabama. I grew up under the Jim Crow laws. And so I know what it was like growing up that way, and I know what it's like now. And the way blacks are acting today, it's a shame to those who have gone before them, right? Because black people used to be a decent people. They love what's right. They love their neighbor as themselves. They recognized it was a spiritual matter, and there was evil in all races as well as good in all races, and they had a sense of self control and family unit. That's all gone now for the most part. And blacks never had a leader. It was unheard of to have some other man over you, right? And so they never had that. And it's just sad to see the blacks acting this way now, and knowing what they were like prior to the civil rights movement.
Wait,
And
are you even?
also, Mr. Peterson, I have one more question. I'm sorry. How do you feel about the wombs of Black women who donate their body, like to science, donate their organs being used for trans women to now hold babies?
Well, I didn't know that was going on, but that if that's happening, that's evil. That's sad.
Are you
Justin,
married?
quick question.
Also not hold on, brother K Rock. With Bree asking that question, how do you feel about abortions, brother Jess?
Abortion is pure evil. Any woman that would allow the man's baby to be killed in the womb is an evil woman.
But
It's
Jesse,
pure evil.
you know there are young girls that get raped by uncles and all type of things, and they get impregnated and they feel to do so. Things like that do happen, Jesse, right?
I'm sure it does, and if it does happen, they can put the baby up for adoption. Why create extra emotional
Uh,
problem for that woman? Because she's gonna suffer as a result of killing the baby in the womb, and I mean, as a result of being raped by a family member or whatever, right? And so she's gonna suffer from that. Why create a double problem by allowing her to kill the baby in the womb? It's just she won't be able to overcome that for the most part.
are you?
If I may, before we get too far from the Donahue debate that you did,
Yes.
when you was on stage, you also talked about the grassroots movement that you had, where you was building up black men. Can you speak on that? Because the actual true debater knows both sides of the argument. So I would like for you to speak about the grassroots movement you had when you was supporting black men.
Right on. I have a nonprofit organization called Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. You can find us at rebuildingtheman.com. And what we're doing is rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Number one, we're turning men, showing men how to return to the Father. We tutor, we counsel. I have a online TV show we do here. We're training them to be producers and things like that and engineers. I have a radio show I do here, podcast now, and we're training that. We have an entrepreneur academy where a lot of these guys, when they overcome the anger by going and forgiving their mothers, their talent comes out, and so we help them start businesses. And if they're already in business, we show them how to enhance that business. I started a credit union because a lot of these guys, they don't have good credit. Their mothers, in some cases, used their credits when they were little kids. And when it's time to apply for credit, they can't get it because the mother screwed it up. So I started a credit union and to loan them the money, and then they pay back with small interest to enhance their business. We tutor, we counsel with people around the world every day, and we show them how to save money, 10% of their earning, so that they can invest in land. I encourage them to buy home, buy homes, buy property, and when they do date, to wait until they get married. So when they get married, if that's what they want, their marriage will last until death do you part, and that way the kids don't have to suffer the sins of the parents.
But are you
Yeah, I
married?
have a quick. Let me just ask this quick question. Once us black men, once we overcome our mama, what do you think is the best woman for the black man to go and
You
marry in
asked that
today's day and
already.
age?
Well, the best one would be added unto you. God loves us. When you return to Him, He will add your needs unto you. So your heart desire. If you wanted a wife, one day you just find yourself with a woman and it'll be the right one. She will love you, you will love her, you will get married, and you will have a family. And when you do argue, it won't be a divorce argument. It'll just be a disagreement because you would be loving what's right, and loving what's right would guide you in the right way to live.
Jesse, are you
Okay,
married?
okay. So next, I want to go to
I have
people
a
who have
question
not
for
asked a
Jesse.
question.
I would
Hold on
like
one
to get
second. I want to
into
go.
It's
Listen,
gonna be
listen.
It was sister
Hold,
Allah. It was sister Allah that
Allah was
was.
going to go next, and then I'll point who's going to go next. Go ahead, Allah. Ask your one question, please.
good evening. Thank you, Brother Don. I
Amen.
really don't even have a question. I just wanted I agree with the brother some, okay. When he started the conversation, of course, we brought up the fact about Dave Chappelle and what they're trying to do to him, which is absolutely evil. Freedom of speech is like slowly, erasing from this beautiful America, the land of the alleged free.
God is
I think that, excuse me, please refrain from being clamorous. um, I do agree with the brother's points on the trans and LGBT community. It is kind of, delusional. Um, the black man, the black woman, and the black child are the greatest on the planet Earth. I heard a question about black men divesting to white women and why they do it. We know that black men they do date outside of their race because, as the man stated out, they are having problems with black women. Black women are completely out of order. We do not treat our black men the way that they deserve to be treated. And we have to do better at that, ladies, because a lot of black men are crying out for help right now, and they just want us to get on one accord, because if black women would just get on board and fight for black men as hard as we fight for everything else, like the trans community, the gay community, weave, nails, and everything else that we go so hard for, the
30
black
seconds.
family would rise. Um, the brother's view on Donald Trump. I mean, come on, you guys. We can't deny Donald Trump was the greatest president that, America has
Pro
ever
black.
had. He did the most for black people. Okay. If you are a business owner, you will understand that. If you're not a business owner, is why you don't really see why most black people feel that way. Um, so, just open up. Donald Trump was the one who gave that money to the HBCUs, which yesterday Joe Biden, he decreased it dramatically, and took that money back from black people. So it is a fact that Joe Biden hates black people. Um, the one thing, the brother, you said that, black people, we don't make things good, and I just have to push back on that. Okay, we make everything great. Everything that is great because of us.
Except
Now, are we not where we should probably be as a people? You are absolutely correct on that. We should have just focused on what they do to us. We should also
All
put the same energy on what we
right,
do
thank
to
you.
each other. We do have to, do better with that, but we're
All right,
not going to act like we're not the greatest on the planet Earth. We have built up plenty of towns, and other people have tore them down. So it's not just us tearing down what we build, it's also, the other people that's tearing down what we're building as well. So,
okay.
we have to
Thank you
make
so
sure.
much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. And what I'll do is, Don, help me remove people that have already asked questions, so that way we can
I
streamline
rest
this.
my case. That young lady was so right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can
Next,
Cardano
I
get
want to
in?
go to Cardona. I see you on stage. I don't know much about you. I know you're a problem, but I'll let you ask your question to Jesse. I was about to say Jesse Jackson. Jesse Peterson. Go
He
ahead.
said okay, not a problem. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
not Jesse Jackson.
So so
Beta.
all right. So Mr. Peterson.
Beta.
So I agree with
Yeah.
Look at that.
lot of what you a lot of what you have to say, Mr. Peterson. Uh, you said and done. First of all,
Okay.
you told Andrew Yang to go back to China, and I don't know if you know this, but Andrew Yang was born in New York State, in upstate New York. So how would you like it? How would you feel if I told you, who were born in the United States, to go back to Africa?
Uh,
Well, I'm not from Africa. Andrew Yang may be born here, but he has socialism in his blood, and apparently his folks came
So
from there, right? He is a
how do you have
socialist.
something coursing through your veins? How do you
He's a
have a
socialist
so an
because his
ideology
ideas are
doesn't course through
socialism.
some
your veins, sir? That's
Torah.
incorrect.
No, he got it so bad, man. It's in his vein. It's in the blood.
Okay, all right. So he had. So
No,
what do
he's a
you?
socialist. We don't need
So
that
do
in
you have
America.
African? Do you have African blood coursing through your veins?
No, I was born
No,
here, man.
no.
My
But you
folks were
said
born here. My people were
okay.
born
All
here
right.
too. We're not from
So
Africa.
using your logic, I should tell you to go back to Africa.
But I just told you nobody in my family came from Africa.
Well,
Not all black people came from Africa. Some of us were here already.
Yeah, right.
okay. All right. So, Mr. Peterson, I wish you nothing but the best. You're
Thank you,
awesome.
man.
You're
Thank you.
amazing.
Amazing.
All right. So yeah,
At the end of the
hold
day,
on, guys.
eh,
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I got it. So that was too much mayonnaise. You didn't do it right. It's amazing, right? So there you go.
Amazing.
That's why you can't invite Jesse. That's why you can't invite every white person to the damn cookout.
Correct.
Um, uh, so I want to go next to George. George, you're ADOS. You're a reparationist.
What's
Um,
happening?
I want you to kind of give some pushback to Jesse here.
Let
He's
me say I
against
got to end
reparations.
at 4.
I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, pushback on what again?
The reparations. So he's completely against it. I don't
Oh,
think he understands it. But go ahead.
oh, okay. Well, I wasn't here for that part, but I will say like this: reparations isn't an ask. A lot of times people confuse reparations with black people asking for something. A lot of times I've heard people say we're asking the government for a handout. I've heard
You're
that as well.
begging for it.
Begging. Okay,
Yeah.
begging for go. Mr. Peterson, do me a favor. If you would, I wasn't here. Would you please reiterate your position on reparations?
I say that it's time for black people to stop begging and do for themselves, and then they can appreciate what they have. Their talent will show more. But as long as they're begging for affirmative action, they've gotten that. Now they want reparation. Where will enough be enough? Where will black people say, you know what, we can do it for ourselves? We can put back into the country rather than taking away from it. They have not gotten better because they've been spoiled with so much free stuff.
Okay, okay, all right. So, okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
Uh, First of all, we've not gotten anything.
Well, you
Affirmative.
missed that part. I named off what y'all have gotten.
You said affirmative action.
No, we gave the blacks everything they asked for since the civil rights movement. We gave
Like
them the
what?
white communities, we gave them the white schools, we gave them the white cafes, we even gave them the white woman, and they still begging.
Oh
Hey Jesse, first of all, who is we? What, you a white man or something?
Go ahead, King
No,
Carter. You're up next. Go ahead,
okay.
King
No,
Carter.
I'm saying no. He
meaning
just
that
said we
meaning that we the
we gave.
American
Nigga,
people,
you
the
ain't no goddamn
taxpayers.
white man. What are you talking about?
No, meaning we are the
You
American
crazy
people,
ass
man.
motherfucker. Okay,
Okay.
okay, well, no, I'm saying to you first of all, stop saying what we did. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no damn white man, or are you a white man?
I'm saying
We
we the
actually are.
American
Do
people.
you count black
But
black
you're not.
people,
But you're
black
not the
men as
American
Listen,
American
guys.
people, though.
people?
Hold on, guys. So look, we're crunched up on time. Go ahead and ask your
Yeah.
question, King Carter, to Jesse.
Wait.
No, I don't have no question for that
Let
crazy
me
motherfucker.
respond to
All
him
right,
real quick.
George.
You know what I'm
George,
saying?
go ahead
Let,
and be quick.
let-
No, no.
Ask
My
the question.
statement is this right here. Okay, all right. Is that as black people, and I'm a, I supported Trump. You know what I mean? Because
Right
Trump is
on.
anti-immigration and he's anti-union. That for those two reasons, I support Trump. But I've been listening to you for a while, bro, and I saw you from time to time, and some of y'all need a wake-up call. I mean, some of y'all older black folks that have been around in the Democratic and Republican Party. When it comes down to our reparations, we're not begging for any damn thing. Our people work for the money that's owed that was
Like
never
what, for
paid.
example, what you work for that's owed to you?
I said our people
What
work.
people? Which people?
Those of us who are descendants of American chattel slavery.
Like
Okay,
who in your family that works for something
my
you didn't get
family, my,
paid
my
for?
my my family that came to this country. Matter of fact, not even just my family that came by way of the transatlantic slave trade, because some of the people who were here already were enslaved as well. So let's put that in
But
perspective.
there were
So
black people here who own slaves. Do they owe you something too?
hell yeah, Africa do too. So
Nigeria.
wait,
don't
Oh,
What
get
do
your
you
wait,
smart
wait.
want?
ass to ask the questions. You know what I'm
Where
saying? And
would
you
enough be
hoping for the
enough?
wrong
What do you
answer.
want?
Hey, Jesse, the
I
black.
want you to first understand that you're a black man. That's what the first I want you
I'm
to do.
trying to
all right.
figure
Yeah.
out what do
So,
you
guys,
want? What else can we
I
give you?
don't want I don't want nothing from you
Means
because
dead,
you're not
black.
the white people that
all right.
enslaved
So
our people.
listen. We're getting off track. So let me just narrow it down to this. George and between George and King, just highlight some things that ADOS is looking for in terms of reparations concern.
Okay, yeah. Let me do that. And
But
can I say this here? First of all, uh, black people have not received shit. The number one recipient of affirmative action is white women. The number two recipient of affirmative action is white men under the guise of gay.
Why do you believe white men are superior to you?
Well, no. We're going down a
Okay.
water hole. So just
And
let
far
let them list out the things that
Oh, okay.
ADOS is
All
demanding.
and,
right.
and far as reparations are concerned, reparations are due to us for nearly 500 years of demonic being under the uh, rule of this demonic cult called white supremacy.
No such
Okay,
thing.
so Pardon me?
No
It
such
was
thing
for
as white
Just
supremacy.
keep going,
The
keep
white
going, keep
man is
going.
not superior to you.
no,
But just
no.
let him finish telling you. Just go ahead, keep going.
He's not, but that's the
But
term
you think that he
of
is.
of the satanic cult that he practiced. That's the name of it. That no, he is not, but that's what the satanic cult that he practiced is called. All right, it's called white supremacy. It has an
We got that.
ideology
Go
and
ahead and
everything.
tell him the things that ADOS is demanding for reparations.
Okay, so what we're demanding for reparations is repair. Now, right now, there's a study being conducted to determine exactly what that it will be, but we're demanding education, we're demanding healthcare, we're demanding land, we're demanding a check, and
Yes,
all of that is owed to us because it was taken from us.
absolutely. So go ahead and talk about HR 40 right now.
Okay, so HR 40 is a bill in Congress to study is to study reparations. Basically, it's supposed to study all of the harm that has been done to Black people. I guess basically since 1776, since the inception of this country. Um, it should go back to 1542 at the beginning of slavery, far as I'm concerned. And for those who say that we did not suffer, us Black people did not suffer, it was our ancestors that suffered, and they don't owe us, they owe our ancestors, and that's past due. Well, understand epigenetics, which is basically the trauma that resides in our DNA due to the trauma that our ancestors received. We still live with that trauma here today. The
May
trauma
I ask you two
is
questions about
embedded
that?
in our genetics and is passed down
May I ask
through
you
our
two
lineage.
questions about that only? May I ask you two questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Number one, what does it feel like to be a male, a grown adult male, begging some white man to give you something? What does that feel like? I don't, because when I was growing up, black men were not begging like the black, like a woman, right? What does that feel like to be a black man begging the white man to give you something?
Okay, let me answer that. First of all, I'm not begging for anything. I'm demanding. I'm
Yes, you
demanding.
are. You're begging for reparation. What does that feel like?
That's not a beg. That's a demand. He
It's a
owed.
demand.
No, that's a begging.
Listen, so
As far as
reparations is
Hey
just.
man, stop talking. Hey
Hold on,
man, this
George.
man is crazy, man.
what's
This
what's
crazy fool right here.
All right,
This old
hold on,
crazy
King.
fool.
King.
I
I
just
gotta let
want
you
to
go.
know,
Listen,
what does that
listen.
feel
So
like to be begging another man for something? I've never done
listen.
that.
Jesse, listen. We're gonna move through this. The reparations is simply a debt owed. The government
But,
promised it, then they went
but he
back.
didn't answer my question.
Hold
I
on,
want to
Jesse.
know. I
Jesse.
have
Then
two
it,
questions.
I'm going to
What does
Jesse.
that feel like to be
Jesse.
begging the
So
white
I'll
man
answer
for
it.
something?
I'll answer it. Listen, I'll answer it really quickly. Reparations is a debt owed. The government promised it,
But
and then
that's
they
not the
went back on it.
question. I
So,
heard that before.
so no one's begging. This is
No,
a
it is.
debt
It's
owed.
begging.
Jesse, if someone steals some money from you and they promise to pay it back, and you keep saying, "Yo, when you gonna pay me my money? Nigga, better have my money. Where the fuck is my money?" Is that
So
begging, or
So
is
then
that
so
you
why
Jesse,
trying to
do
were
you feel? Hold
Jesse,
on,
my second
Jesse,
question?
you
Jesse?
being hold on,
My
Jesse, you being
second
a hold on,
question: why
Jesse, you
wasn't
being a
that
proud
black
American.
people? Let me
Hey
ask this.
Jesse, hold on, one more. Jesse, you being a proud American, you don't feel that this land is built off the backs of black people?
No,
Can I just
Do
my
you feel like
second question.
hold on? Do you feel like American would be what it is today without black people?
It'll be better.
you was
How would it be
Whoa.
better?
Jesse, you
Explain.
ain't
What the
Devin.
fuck?
Oh yeah. No.
Explain, explain
Listen,
how
Devil.
how would it be better, and if it
Jesse, you
would be
are
better.
too young for
Hold on, Jesse. Why did they come get us to
Because
help build their land?
they didn't come get you for that. The blacks in Africa sold you to the Arabs, and the Arabs sold you around the world. The
No.
white man did not go and get you.
Jesse, you don't know.
Okay.
But
Well, we
but
know
let me
that
ask
that's
you
just
you.
this.
listen.
I had a
Listen.
second part of my question.
Go ahead.
My
Can I go next?
second part: if y'all are not begging now, why didn't we see the blacks begging before the civil rights movement? But instead, they were doing for themselves. They bought land. They
Crazy.
built cities. They did for themselves. They did not beg. Why are y'all begging now more so than what they did
Before
prior
then,
to
it
the
wasn't
civil
a
rights
such
movement?
thing as
All right.
reparations.
Okay. Listen. I want to next
Actually
go to.
was.
Hold on, guys. One mic, please. I need the one mic rule to be in effect, please. Thank you. I want to go to Omar. Omar has been waiting patiently, has not had an opportunity to speak. Omar, go ahead and ask your question or statement to Jesse.
Peace and power to the room. What's going on, my brother?
All is well.
I hear what you're saying, right? So, are you familiar with a lot of the black inventors? So-called black. I don't like the word black, but that's a different discussion. Are you familiar with the inventors that
Like what, for
have
example?
The stoplight,
from
the
the
filter and the light
Black
bulb,
people did
the
not invent the
toilet
stoplight.
system.
That's a lie.
We invented the
Well, then who
three
No,
did,
y'all did
Jesse?
The
not
stoplight.
invent no
Jesse?
wrench.
stoplight.
We invented the three light stoplight. The one that
Uh-uh.
has the
You
red,
Garrett,
added the
yellow, and
Garrett
yellow
green.
to the
Morris,
light.
Yes, we did,
Black
Garrett,
sir.
people added the yellow. The light was already invented.
that's a
They
lie.
just didn't have the
That's
yellow part.
not a lie.
That is a lie.
The
That
wrench.
that's not true,
It's
Jesse.
not.
Jesse. All
Is
right, so go
the
ahead, Omar. Go
yeah
ahead,
yeah
Omar.
yeah. So,
Garrett Morgan
Hold on, Mia. We got it,
invented.
Mia. Go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Mia.
mean,
We got it.
it's a whole
Garrett
list. I mean,
Morgan.
we could go through the
Amir, hold
list.
on. Hold on. Be quiet, Amir.
Yeah, yeah, we can go through the list. I'm an inventor myself, and
Nice.
so yeah, back in 2015, I created a writing system that will revolutionize the way that we write, type, in text.
Right
And what it
on.
does is it has the potential to realign both hemispheres of the brain. So I'm an inventor myself, but there are
So
many
you agree
inventors.
with me then that the blacks need to stop begging and start doing?
Um, I don't think anybody should beg.
Right.
You know, I'm not in disagreement with those that feel that their ancestors had something taken from them.
But they don't even know
Yeah.
if their ancestors did. They're just using that. They have no idea.
Well, my point, well, I have a different theory. I feel that the so-called black man and woman were already here. We're indigenous to this land known as North America.
No,
I don't think
the
some
African
some.
in I mean in Africa at the time, the upper class African were using the poor ones. They used them as for money. Whenever they bought product, they would sell other blacks for merchandise. When they, in long story short, they enslaved them. The blacks were enslaved and treated them horribly in Africa. And so what happened? The Arabs went and bought them from the blacks in Africa and sold them around the world. But the blacks don't have sense enough to know to do research on their own. They're just taking somebody's word at it, and
you don't know
they
the
don't
difference
Hey,
realize
hey,
they're
hey,
being
of
Jesse, let me
used
ask you
and be
this.
out of
Sahara.
Let me
control.
You
ask you
don't know
this. Do
the
you know
difference
the
between
largest
the
ship that
sub-Saharan
was used during the
and
Atlantic slave
the
trade, the
Atlantic
so-called
slave
Atlantic
trade.
slave trade?
They're different in different periods of time, and they're
Hold
different.
on.
And you don't
Omar
know
was
the
talking. Go ahead,
difference.
Omar. Ask your follow-up question.
I
Hey,
don't,
brother.
Omar. No, I don't.
Hey,
Okay, fair
hey,
enough.
do you realize the average size is about it could hold about 100 people? Are you aware of
No, I
that?
don't. But what does that have to do with how the cow ate the cabbage?
What
Okay.
it had,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, what it has to do, my brother, is the fact that when you in school they taught that millions upon millions of people were transported during the Atlantic slave trade, but when you
Right, but they were
calculate the
sold by
amount
the
of
blacks.
no, hear me out. When you look at the amount of people that can fit on each ship, on top of the crew, on top of the food that was needed, the numbers don't add up. So I don't buy into what was given to us in terms of education. I don't buy into that theory. I think that a lot of the so-called black men and women were already here, and this is why
But you're just
the
assuming that, though.
so-called.
You can't prove that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I would rather
But
buy
I
into
don't
that
like
theory
going by
than.
assumption. It's best to know rather
But
than
you
to
some things
assume.
you really won't know because it's like there hasn't been a true record
The history's been
Well,
wiped.
then,
that has been it's been
all right.
wiped
All right.
out.
All right. All
you
right.
may be right
All right,
about
all
that.
right,
But if you
hold on,
don't know, you may be
hold on one
right. But if
second.
you don't know, it's best to leave it as a don't know rather than assume, because most people don't think for themselves. They'll hear that and they'll fall for it.
Hey, so
No.
Jesse, I want to ask you a question. We both from the state of Alabama. I'm actually
Sweet
still
home Alabama.
sweet home, baby, all day. I'm still in Alabama. I don't know where you may be, but
I'm
recently,
in Los Angeles.
They ran them out.
okay, cool,
Alabama ran them
okay,
out.
okay, cool. So recently,
They didn't run me out. What the?
hey, so do you? I'm pretty sure you keep up with the news. I'm hoping you keep up with the news that's going on in Alabama. Our governor, Governor Kay Ivey, took the COVID relief money and built new prisons. She took that money. They let her take the COVID relief money to build new prisons. How do you feel about that?
Well, I didn't know about that, but we need prisons because these people are out of control,
But
man.
hold up, no, Jesse, not taking our COVID money. Not the no, Jesse. You agree with taking COVID relief
what,
money to build new prisons?
Well, what it is, they have defunded the police, so however they can get the money to put these people in
Oh,
jail, I'm
Jesse,
okay.
damn, Jesse. Jesse, don't do that, big brother.
Nigga,
Jesse,
niggas
I
a
Damn,
slender, Tom.
listen,
damn, Jesse,
Jesse,
man. Jesse, you not a good representation of Alabama, man.
Well, when I was
Nobody.
growing up, my parents taught me if you do the crime, you're gonna do the
but
time.
how many
They would
people are dying, Jesse,
they
in
they would tell
Alabama due to
me
COVID?
if you go to
Jesse,
jail,
you
I'm
know we
not
have a
coming to
high
visit.
rate of people dying. Yeah, and that's a good point. Jeffrey, we have a
What?
high rate of people dying in Alabama due to COVID, and all she could think about, which is a Caucasian lady, that is a governor of ours, and
But why
she
did the blacks
hold
vote
on,
for her?
hold on. She's also a woman. No, now, Jesse, you know Alabama is a red state, and you know majority of black. Birmingham, where I'm from, is actually a blue city. So Governor Kay Abney is a Caucasian woman that took money, the COVID money, to build new prisons, and you know for a fact that a lot of black men are going to jail. So why would you take that money, Jesse? Why would you agree with something like that, Jesse?
Well,
I don't
maybe she
understand.
can because I don't know, so I don't know. I'm only going by what you're telling me now. But maybe they defunded the police, so she needed to get some money from somewhere.
But
That,
isn't
but
she?
That's
you
sad.
say
So
don't
you
assume.
believe in stealing, Jesse? That's what you believe in.
No, no, no.
You
But if
believe in
they're
you
going to
believe in you
defund,
believe in you believe in taking some money that's meant for the to help the people, and instead you do something to hurt the people. That's what
but
you
you
believe
know
in,
that
Jesse.
this
Isn't that
COVID
what Black
Chinese
Lives
thing is.
Matter is?
See
Hey, Don,
reparations
can
for
I ask
work
him a
that they
question?
have
How do you know that
Yeah,
they
can I go?
receive reparation?
because it's historical. You know what I'm saying? They have
Where can
said that
I
they
find
received.
that? Where can I
They
find that?
they have said that they received.
No, but
Um,
where can I find that to prove that that's true?
That's
Because
the
you
Google
might just
search.
be
I don't
saying
know
that.
what to say to you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to
Listen,
go
hold on.
ask a white
All
man
right, so
then.
I'll follow up. So Jesse, that's a known fact, right? So white people did,
But
in
where's the
fact,
proof of it though?
Jesse, that's in history. It's American history.
Where
That's
in the
white
history?
history. Google it. It's white history. They should have taught you that in school back in 19 whatever.
So
Listen,
Where
Jesse, can
is
I
what,
ask
it
you the
that
last
white
Can
question?
people
I
Can
receive
hold
I
on,
ask
guys.
Jesse the
One
reparation?
last
mic.
Where
question?
is
One
that?
mic.
So Major, can I?
Hey, to the mods, if anybody comes out there, Mike, move them the hell out the stage.
Got
Jesse, what I'll tell
Most
you,
definitely, most definitely. Go ahead.
yeah. So Jesse, it's a known fact, right? And so
No, it's not a known fact.
Jesse,
People
it
say
is
a
a known.
lot of things that's not true.
Jesse. It is up to you to
It
do your
remind
own
me
research,
it
Jesse.
remind me of the Bible thumpers. They say things
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I
sound
get all that.
Christian, but it's not true.
Jesse. It's up to you to do your own emotional, physical labor,
No, I
right?
didn't make that statement.
I
Whoever
can't do
made
your
the
homework.
statement need to have the proof of it.
Jesse. No, he told you a fact, or he gave you
But
something. Now,
if it's a fact, where's the proof?
it's you can Google it if you wanted to find. That's Googleable stuff.
What do I look for?
Listen, just say white
Yo,
people
you
got
look in the
reparations for
same place
slavery.
you got all of your proof.
Yeah. So here's what I'll
What do you
say last.
mean?
Hold on. Everybody stop. The next person that's not a mind, come off their mic, get them the hell off the stage. I don't care who they are. Now, the next thing is I want to say to you, Jeffrey, damn it. Uh, Jesse is got me fucked up on this stage, y'all. Listen, shit. Jesse, there's a new app, right? And it's called Speak Easy app, Speak Easy Live. It's like Clubhouse. It's a video audio app. I want to get you over to that app. We can get you verified today or tomorrow. It's a beautiful app. So it's just like Clubhouse. Wherever you're sitting, you can be on video instead of just having your picture up there. It's in a beautiful app. I want to get you over there. I talked to your staff about that, so I think we can make that happen. That way you can actually host your own conversations on the app. You can do a Q&A style. They have it already set up. So you got your three hosts at the top. You got your guests, whoever you want on your panel, and then you have a Q&A box where you can rotate in and ask questions. So we want to get you on that platform, Jesse. It's a dope app. It's just like Clubhouse, but better on.
Okay, well definitely
Hey, Sam, hey, Sam Major, can I ask a
Yeah.
send
question?
it to my guy
No.
and he'll look into it.
I'll get it to you guys. And so, if anyone else in the room that wants to download that, so we're going to do the follow up on that app, the Speakeasy app. Everyone's going to be going over to Speakeasy Live. So, download that right now. It's Speakeasy Live. It's a video audio app, just like Clubhouse, but better. And once you guys download it, there's a code in my bio right now. Look at the code in the bio, and you'll be able to get that. All right. Also, Jesse, I know that you folks want to connect with you. Where on social media and your website can people connect with you?
They can go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, and jesseleepeterson.com, jesseleepeterson.com, and the Fallen State, FALLN, the Fallen State.tv.
All right, thank you so much. Thank.
Oh, and at
Mhm.
JLP Talk on Twitter, at JLP Talk on Twitter.
All right,
All right,
awesome.
cool.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jesse,
you,
for joining
Jesse,
us. We
man. Thank
really
you for
appreciate
being
And
everything.
one more,
here.
they told me to tell you Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram as well. Jesse Lee
Yeah,
Peterson on
Jesse Lee
Instagram.
on Instagram. We appreciate you, Jesse.
Absolutely. Yep.
Sir, Jeffrey. There was a great room. Thank you for the room. ADOS versus everybody. Click the Monopoly House at the top. Make sure you follow all the mods. Tap in with all the mods. And yeah, appreciate you, Jesse Lee.
I
Also,
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jesse
go
Mr.
ahead, bro.
thank you for having
Peterson.
me on. I enjoyed talking to
Jesse,
everyone.
you the
Yes,
devil. Be
thank
Thank
blessed.
you.
you so
Okay, so
All right.
look,
Beta.
also
Beta, beta,
Monday in the presidential suite
beta,
clubhouse
beta.
recap. We will be recapping the Jesse Lee Peterson 9 Central, 10 Eastern Monday to recap. Thank you for being here, Jesse.
Yes,
Beta,
sir.
amazing,
amazing.
Beta
Beta,
man, recap.
amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
Amazing.
This was the most chaotic,
Y'all was
dysfunctional,
up here
organized,
booty clapping for
unchaos.
Jesse.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
we
room was
are.
crazy.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Y'all was
Sir
up there
Major. Thank
clapping
you,
for
Sir
Jesse.
Major, for real.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. So listen, y'all, we're gonna kick it in here for a little
Y'all know
bit.
Jesse
For
hates y'all
those who have
too.
not downloaded, not downloaded the Speak Easy Live app, please download it right now. Use that code MXM